Josh, do you know this field?
Nick, you a medic? No, I'm a medic. Oh, you're a medic? Okay, I'm a medic too. We got this.
Hey guys, SPARTAN117GW here, and I am with Levelcap and a couple other guys, Josh and Chris from Warfighter. This video primarily shows myself and Levelcap because he and I kind of tag team together, but this is more or less a join up or joint task force friends episode that we're playing at the team game at Mr. Paintball. This is a really cool field. We've actually thought about maybe cool themed game here because the AO is actually pretty nice. It definitely has a lot of potential. So as you can see, we're kind of spread out around the first objective, which is basically because it's a whole drug cartel kind of based game. So there's like a drug point or something like that, like a little drug tent that they've defended. Levelcap and I decide, you know what, we're gonna push up onto the hill, of course, because when you're approaching the kind of crest of the hill, you want to really hold the high ground. Elevation is the ultimate angle. Shooting is a game of angles. When you have elevation, it does give you a lot of advantages. So since the game literally just started, figuring must take the advantage, go ahead and press forward just a little bit. Definitely run into some interesting terrain, interesting bushes and shrubbery, and the more gear you wear kind of adds to a little bit of the complexity of moving through terrain like this. But we were kind of just moving through the cover, moving through the concealment a little bit, and then we realized, all right, let's just keep pressing ahead. So we ended up picking up two guys who are familiar with the field, and we're like, you know what, come with us. You guys seem like you know the field pretty well. Really cool bunch of guys, and of course, for them it was like, man, they get to play with us. So it worked out well. It's like they knew the field, they wanted to play with us. We didn't know the field, so and we kind of need the numbers of the fire team here. So and they actually did a really good job sticking with us the whole game. So that was definitely pretty cool. And they knew how to fight. They put up a pretty good fight. So as you can see, Levelcap's on point. Try and just establish our spacing, kind of keeping our situational awareness up. Making sure we're not too clustered a little bit, and as you can see, the terrain is pretty shrubberized. I mean, there's a lot of mid to low lying foliage with some about some trees and this sort of scattering more or less the top of the hill. It even gets more sparse the higher you go, obviously, but definitely some really cool terrain. I've actually never played airsoft in a field like this before, so for me it was kind of a new experience coming from the the jungle / forests of Japan, or the true pine forests of like North Carolina or something like that. This was definitely a more immersive experience for you. So as you can see, we're kind of just taking our time, going through. There is no rush. Actually, most of the fighting is, I think it might be starting now, or it might be starting in a bit, down on the main flatlands. There's a lot of fighting going on down here, but we're just trying to cruise along the top of the terrain, kind of approaching methodically toward the enemy is, and there's definitely some awesome shots in this video. We can see how beautiful the views actually is once you get to the highest elevation. So as you can see, we're kind of moving around a little bit. We ended up spotting a sniper, and I think Levelcap said he saw someone up this hill too. So we're cautiously approaching. The foliage is pretty thick in some areas, so it's kind of hard to make little to no noise. And one thing that you can see, we stop, look, listen, smell. Seals. Just stop and assess, see what's going on, see if you spot anything, see or smell anything, or most importantly, if you hear something. But you'll see us. We'll communicate a little bit. We'll talk. We'll get our act together, and then we'll push on to the next objective. If we don't come across any contact or anything, we'll keep pushing on. Our goal right now is more or less just get to the top of this hill. And as you can see, it's starting to get a little bit more sparse. There's not as many trees per se, so all the foliage is getting kind of low. So you're definitely more exposed once you come up to the top, but you're gonna have an amazing viewpoint on the AO. So we're going up here, we're taking our time, because you never know if there's an ambush around the next bush or around the next rock. So you really want to just be scanning, searching, assessing, kind of keeping yourself aware of where your buddies are, where the enemies may be, and really just taking in the environment, just letting your senses soak up everything that they're taking in. As you can see up here, yeah, it's starting to get a little rocky, and it's kind of identifies it, or more or less at the top or the peak almost. I can see that level cap is kind of a little bit more to the left, so I'm kind of looking around a little bit, and I'm going to start shifting toward his direction. They can see things a little better than I can from where I'm at, but apparently they have eyes on, and I can actually see a couple guys out in the distance too. It's pretty far. I mean, even for airsoft sniper rifle, that's pretty far. But I think one thing we might do in the future, we might actually bring some sniper rifles to this field, because it actually can definitely play very well into the favor of someone using a long range gun. So here again, we're at the top of the hill. I move over to where level cap is, and he's definitely spotted some guys. And spotted some guys we're not even sure who they are. It's definitely one thing on this field. I would say a magnified optic is actually pretty dang helpful, because you do have some really, long line of sights. Most fields I'll usually just get away with just a red dot or something, but there's some times, especially if you're trying to identify who they are, because at this game it was supposed to be color-coded teams, but players got mixed up a little bit, so we definitely spotted some people weren't sure who they were, and a magnified optic would have really helped. So took a little breather up here, then we decided, what,
you saw that motherfucker, right?
we're kind of out of engagement range, and we want to close the distance a little bit. Even though we have the elevation, if we close, at least we're closing from the elevated direction. The momentum is in our favor, so we get the guys together, and we decide, hey, you know what, we're just we're gonna move out. Although while we're up there, we did spot a few guys. We're tracking a couple guys as well. In case you guys didn't know, if you guys were wondering what gun it was that you've been seeing on screen, it actually is a PTS ERG decked out with a PTS Centurion Arms CMR rail. If you haven't heard about that rail, it's because it's not out yet. It's a prototype rail through on the gun, gives a nice low pro look, and it actually kind of gives the gun a much more slimmer profile. So right now I have the Griffin armament suppressor and a muzzle brake on there, which is great because the suppressor actually goes over just about any of the Griffin armored cops that PTS makes. We also have the in-force light on there as well. Not really handy during the daytime, but I had it on there just in case. Okay, so as you can see, we decided, hey, we're going to push off this hill. Level cap, go ahead and takes point again. When you're moving terrain like this, having good boots makes a big difference, and you always, you don't want to rush too much, because the terrain is kind of rough. You never know when you're going to trip or fall. The terrain does get kind of rough in some areas, and if you're careless, you can definitely hurt yourself running around AO like this. But as you can see, we're just pushing up, and we're actually coming up to what's called a linear danger area, a road, an open area that's it's linear in shape, but it presents a pretty viable threat. If the enemy is waiting there, they can definitely mess you and your entire squad up. So we approach it pretty cautiously. Normally, you would set up security, looking both ways. Then you'd have a cross, you'd set up a far side security, and then you'd get your people across, and then you collapse back across the road. So we approach the road. Charlie can actually see down a little bit. I'm not sure if he's seeing anyone, but as you can see, he uses hand signals there, and that's one thing that's really important. You don't always have to talk when you're moving around AO. Just keep an eye out and be very situationally aware of what you and your buddies are doing. Using your hand signals, just looking at each other's body language. When you see your guy stop, take a knee, and put his hand up or something like that, it means he probably sees something a lot of the time, so you should probably listen. As you can see, Charlie's very cautiously moving across the road, and we cross, but there isn't a good entrance where we want to go, so we move up the road just a little bit, and I'm keeping my eyes just above that crest in case Joe Schmo bad guy ends up walking up there. At least I can do something about it. But one of those things about open areas, you really want to get at them as soon as you can, and we kind of moved into the foliage, and we're going to continue tracking what we think or see or hear some possible enemies. Charlie's always he's pretty good at spotting the bad guys, and as you can see, we're trying to be nice and low, just below the height. If we were standing up completely, we'd probably give ourselves away pretty good. So we are moving through the terrain very cautiously, kind of keeping a low profile, kind of in like I guess you could say almost like a roadie run from Gears of War, kind of a crouch walk, crouch run. there's a reason in MEPS when you join the military, they make you do the duck walk. Alright, so Charlie engaged that one guy there. I'm like, alright, he's engaged someone. I'm going to shift left a little bit because you never know. And it actually turns out there's guys on the other side of this bush. I can hear them and I can see them. But I don't want to engage just yet. But I see a guy who, he got confused about our position. And I took him out real quick. And I'm going to basically more or less start shifting around. I kind of have a good idea of where they are. And I'm going to slowly kind of come around a little bit. And we kind of got them kind of a little bit of firefight there. Scanning real quick. Kind of keep an eye on where my buddies are at. And hopefully I don't get killed by friendly fire. Just pressing out. I don't see anyone just yet, but I can definitely hear them. So I'm going to press on a little bit. It's kind of an open area here. It's a little bit of a gamble, but if I peek out, I can get them. Alright, so picked up the kills there, and we end up getting back together because we're actually not far from their spawn point. So we're trying to figure out, okay, what do we do next? Where do we got to go? There's a bunch of guys running the objectives out in the field, and it's pretty crazy. They're actually running sandbags of drugs, or make-believe drugs or whatever. We're kind of going out there running interference with any squads, and you can actually see the guys spawning in their AO down there, which is pretty crazy. I mean, the line of sight of this field, I mean, if you have a long-distance gun, you can really do some work. So we kind of press down the hill a little bit so we can get a better view of kind of the enemy-controlled AO, and with this rock here, you can actually kind of see just about their whole avenue of approach into the low flatlands.
Hey dude, was that the only one?
So we shift things up a little bit. I end up when I'm walking up to investigate some blues that are kind of flanking us, I end up getting team killed real quick. Buddy comes over and heals me. I'm like, hey man, why'd you shoot me? But no worries, it happens. I'm like, hey, just get me back in the fight. Keep your eyes up, scan, assess in case a threat comes up, because you always want to neutralize the threat before you go medic your buddy. Once we figure out, hey, there's either no one there or there's a little bit out of range to be a big problem, we need to move, because we're kind of pinched in between another enemy scouting unit and the main enemy force. And as we're approaching this like other small ravine area that's on the hillside, there's like a little valley. So let's get like a little ravine, a little, like where a river would be flowing down. We can actually see across and see some bad guys. But as you can see, regroup with my buddies, and we're just trying to get them together and get them to move because they're hesitating. In a situation like this, when you're out in the open, you really don't want to hesitate. You want to make a decision, and the worst thing you do is make no decision. You got to make a decision. You have to. You go or don't go. Or do something. Just if you just stand there and like, yeah, maybe I should go, maybe I should, something's probably going to happen. Probably ain't going to be in your favor. So you're better off making a decision right now. And I think, I'm trying to remember, I believe we just said, hey, let's just go push on, because we're just sitting ducks here.
Security, alright? That's tangled left. Look, shoot him, shoot him. Hey, we need to get the fuck out of here now. Pull left. Just fucking assault through left. Go, go, go. Go left, go left. Bogey, same direction, across the ridge. Okay, go through, go through, go through. Assault through now.
Alright, so I spotted some guys across that little ravine and engaged them a little bit, hoping to knock some of them out. And as we pressed on, try to basically leapfrog across this danger area, because there's little valleys that we're going to lose a little bit of the line of sight. But as we push through, we're kind of working our way back towards our lines, and Charlie ends up spotting, and we end up engaging another enemy force.
If we get up there, we have a better chance of fighting them. Remember Lone Survivor? Alright, hey, take us to the top. Let's go. Okay, hey, we're gonna suppress. Fucking run. Go, go, go. Stand by. Yeah, but they're fucking facing us. They know we're coming. Wouldn't work.
Yeah, but it's fun.
Yeah. Hey guys. Right. Hey guys. Fucking take it high and left and flank those fuckers. Yeah, high and left, flank those guys. Go. We'll go straight in. Charlie, they got eyes on. Let's go. Let's get the fuck out of here. Go. Take the road.
So Charlie spots some blues, and we decide to go pursue, and you know, they end up seeing us. So the element of surprise is lost. So these guys, they more or less, they get into the firefight. And you kind of see it's kind of a pattern whenever we play games like this. As soon as the firefight breaks out, I kind of tend to split off, kind of like the Raptors in Jurassic Park. I kind of split off to the sides. Because, and you'll see it happens. That actually can help you win a lot of engagements. If you do it with two guys, it's generally better, because sometimes the flank gets outflanked. But more or less, just kind of punching out and getting that extra angle. Because remember, shooting is a game of angles. If you're just thinking lateral, you know, just one dimension, or just like, you know, just thinking one angle or another,
Charlie,
you know,
if
you're not thinking open-minded, you're gonna get boxed in pretty good. So you can see I'm engaging the bad guys, and I'm trying to kind of communicate with Charlie, let him know where he is. I can see the movement where they're at, and I'll shoot, and I'll shift my position again a little bit, and then I'll shoot again. I definitely have the upper hand. I'm at a slight elevated position, I'm pretty concealed, and I'm off angle to where they believe the original threat to be.
Is Charlie still up?
I continue to engage, just kind of laying down this fire, hopefully keeping my guys alive, and you know, I'm trying to more or less press in and, you know, apply pressure, so kind of peel out a little wider, and I'm listening to where the shooting is, because I want to get kind of close and, you know, ensure that kill.
Rabbit hole. Yo, contact front. Front left. Here. Oh, one of the
This is the one thing that's very dangerous about flanking. You never know if you've actually completely flanked him, or if you've actually gone just right through the middle. That was my mistake there. It ended up costing me, but it was a pretty good flank overall. And that kind of ends part 1 of Levelcap and my join-off from the Team Therapist game. Make sure you guys continue watching, or stay tuned for the next episode that's going to be coming out. This episode was a little bit slower, but the next episode is going to have a little bit more action in it. But it really highlights all the cool, you know, methodical thinking and methodical tactics you can have in a game, even if it's not a Milsim game. Thank you guys for watching. This is SPARTAN117GW, and I'll see you next time. Hey guys, SPARTAN117GW, and I'm here with
Solera.
and make sure you guys subscribe too.
SPARTAN117GW.
Make sure you guys check it out. Thanks for watching.
Elite Force BBs, that's what's in my mag. Thanks for watching.